Today I will be using this thing in combination with these things to try to get a nice kind of overdriven, slightly fuzzy sound with some vintagey vibes, so not as shreddy. We'll see how it ends up though. You never know. Sometimes I go in with a specific mindset and then I stumble upon stuff and I realize I want to do something different. But the reason I want to get this kind of vintage sound is for me to record some some kind of rock and roll-ish shorts for you guys with just some lush big chords with an overdriven warm sound and not too fancy. But a necessity for that is to find a sound that inspires me. So that is our first task here. So what I'm going to do is put you guys like this, I think. Oops, that didn't work. Phone is freaking sliding. What has happened? Okay, it works. And that'll make things easier. So let's see here now. I apologize for the mess. Rock and roll is messy. So the pedals we can use that are in the current chain are from the red one to the light blue, to the green, to the white, and to the Friedman. The other ones are not in the chain. They're in the loop of another amp, which I don't want to mess too much with that. But that should be more than enough. In fact, I think we might just end up using the silk tone pedal, the light blue one. So this is an MXR Dynacomp. This is Silk Tone Fuzz Plus. This is a Tube Screamer TS808. The white one is a full tone OCD. And the black goldish one is a Friedman BEOD. Okay. So. Oh, I should probably say that this is the amp I'm playing through, and this is a Fender Blues Junior. And in just a second, you'll be able to hear the basic tone I have here, at least. Jesse, man, what's up? Yeah, you're right, David. I should definitely clean up my mess, but I'm too busy working, producing content for you guys. And typically, you don't see this mess. So this is behind the curtains material. So you should feel privileged you get to see my mess. Okay, so. So currently, no distortion. But what I am going to start with is the Silk Tone Fuzz. And the other distortion pedals are Tube Screamer, Friedman BOD. I have another Tube Screamer, and yeah, I guess that's it for distortion. I use a lot of amp distortion. So this one has some great controls. You can get a lot of warmth here. It's already warmer. Maybe I can play so you guys can see me play as well. That would be cool. Let's see if we can pull this off. With it. Thank you, Ashfi. Ooh, we got a drummer here, Matthew. Welcome. Now I want to try with more fuzz and less brightness. Ooh. Turn down the brightness a bit more. What's really cool with this pedal is we can fiddle with the bias. So we can get these really spitty kind of sounds. Now this one works better if I help the signal with a little bit of a push, and I have the Dynacomp for that. No, this EQ looks like this when it's on. I have this in the loop of another amp, so I'm not using the EQ right now. I mostly use this one with high gain sounds and in the loop, and it's really cool. It gives you granular control of, you know, different types of high gain settings. But I'm not sure I like this sound now. Let's try more voltage here and not choke the pedal. Okay, back to only using the silk tone now. These are scalloped fret, yes. And if you check out the comments in my shorts, you're going to see people on the internet going crazy about speculations. Like, man, he played that guitar so long, the wood got rid of the wood. Now, I have filed the wood down, and this is a very specific scallop where I've only scalloped where you're supposed to fret. So you're not supposed to be fretting here, so there's no need to remove wood here. I just wanted to remove wood where it was needed. But you can still see it's a pretty good scallop. It feels awesome where I fret. There's absolutely no touching the wood here. I have to go very far down. So to me, this is the equivalent of a super deep scallop, but without moving nearly as much wood. This is already pretty good. I could use more of something. Let's see if I increase the bias to maximum. It gets thinner. So I think the golden spot is here around the middle, 4.6. Now let's max the fuzz out. Oh, interesting comments. Guitar dead. What does that mean? You don't play like that. How should I play? What's the benefit of a scalloped fretboard? I'm going to subscribe. Oh, awesome. So we can speak about that. The benefits of a scalloped fretboard. Well, you can see clearly here, if I'm bending, if I didn't have the scallop, my fingertip would be touching the wood, as it does here. Now, until you've experienced how it feels to add a vibrato or bending without any resistance from the wood, it's a bit hard to understand what it does, but it's an awesome feeling, and it gives you more control, and you get a better grab of the string, basically. Now, the same thing is true for if you want to do hammer-ons, right? Unless you have the absolute best technique in the world, and you know that you're always going to hit the string spot on with the center of your finger. You can even see the mark after the string here. If you know you're going to do it that way, then you might not need high frets or a scalloped fretboard. But if in the heat of the moment you accidentally hit the string a little harder, so for example, not in the center part, and your fingertip touches the wood, what's going to happen is, if there's wood there, it's going to basically stop you from getting a clean note. So it's useful even for the kind of stuff I would only play when I'm properly warmed up. That kind of thing as well. So both bending and hammer-ons, it's awesome for that. And pull-offs as well, I guess you could say, because if you're down here and doing a pull-off, it's always nice not to have the wood interfere. Joshua, awesome you like the pedal board. That German person, guten Tag, wie geht's? Okay, so let's continue finding our vintage tone here. So I've basically realized I want my bias here around 480, 460. I couldn't really max out the fuzz. What I can do is max out the fuzz and then add a little bit of cleanup. See if that gives me something desirable. That's also a sound for sure. Let's see here. It's still a little bit on the bright side, so I think I'm gonna maybe leave the settings like this and go to the amp instead and do some tweaking there. One final thing I'm going to try is just boost the signal a little bit. This is an interesting sound now. I'm pushing the pedal much harder. Let me just arrange this. Just the stand is in the way from my leg here, so let's see if we can fix that. Okay, let's try this. So that's useful, but it's a very different sound. It's more pushed. I could engage that, but I'd rather not at this point. Now, I guess before I go to the amp, one final thing I'm going to try, and my expectations are low, but I'm going to stack this distortion with a full tone OCD. Usually I prefer not, but sometimes you can... This is pretty warm. It's always nice to know that, you know, even though I might not go for this sound, it's nice to know that it's another different working sound. So if I'm in a recording session and I want something different, I can just hit the pedal. Let's try see, get it a little bit brighter. Judy, what's up? Roger. Are you Swedish? Roger, hey. Love the scalloped frets, badass. Awesome, Josh. Yeah. This is a fantastic fretboard. It got way better when I scalloped it. It's nice, a little bit too pushed. Okay, so here's without the full tone OCD and only the silk tone fuzz plus. So you can hear the fatness added here. Now let's increase the tone a little bit. Från Boden, härligt. Då har du ju trevliga gitarrmodeller som kommer därifrån. What's it called, the brand that does the boating guitar? Strandberg, right? Okay, so I don't think we need anything on top of this. Sounds awesome on its own. So what I'm going to do now is move over to the amp and do some tweaking there, and hopefully we can get like our record ready or recording ready sound that I'm going to use for today when recording shorts for you guys. So let's see here. Okay, here we go. So what you're looking at now is, or you're looking at me now, but what you were looking at 5 seconds ago is the Fender Blues Junior. It's a nice little amp. It's very different from my other, so here it is. It's very different from my Mesa Boogie amp because, and the main difference is actually in the speaker. Of course, the Mesa Boogie can do much more, but the clean channel here is awesome, and so is the clean channel on the Mesa Boogie. Actually, this only has a clean channel, so it's good that it's awesome. But it has a Jensen smaller speaker. Oh no, I'm not sure the diameter is smaller, but it's a very different voice. This is a Jensen, very bright, kind of, well, tweedish and vintage sounding, whereas the Boogie has like a Celestian black something. It sounds much darker, and it's very good for metal stuff. So that's why it's nice. I often go between these amps. I play one of them heavily, maybe for 1 or 2 weeks, and then I want a totally different sound, so I go to maybe the other amp, and after that I usually maybe go to digital or something, constantly alternating to get different sounds. Neon, what's up? Jaroslav, what's up? Zelia, glad you like it. Oh, Tommy Johansson Sabaton, that's awesome. So Roger, there's a headless guitar brand called Strandberg, which is pretty popular among a lot of big guitar names on the internet, for example. And they have a model called Boden, and I think probably because it comes from up there. But yes, I'm a big Sabaton fan as well. So yeah, the Fender Blues Junior is a super popular amp. I hesitate to say it's a practice amp because it's not that cheap, and it's awesome for lots of stuff, and it can get really loud. I would say it's a great all-round amp for studios, small gigs, and practice. And it's awesome because if you look at the Fender Black line or those similar amps, they don't have a master volume knob. For a good reason. They sound different than this one. But for me, having a master knob is kind of important. So this amp really does that for me. Let me see if I can move a bit closer to. Here. Yeah, it has a spring reverb. So I can, if I turn it off, sounds like kind of dry. Spring reverb. So I mean, this is a good amp. I wouldn't say the Mesa Boogie is more expensive and more flexible because it has all these gain channels as well. But this one is awesome for what it does. So I would say it's just as good as the Mesa Boogie, but it does totally different things and different price range, again, because you only have one. It's basically one channel with a fat switch where you get a little bit of overdrive. But this overdrive is engaged now, and I want to remove that and try it. So let's try pushing the amp for fun. And I turn down the master, turn the volume way up. Turn down the reverb a little bit. It's a little bit mushy. I'm gonna turn up the... So I tweaked the fuzz pedal a little bit there, just to add a little bit of brightness and decrease the gain a little bit. And there's also a little bit of hum going on. That's expected because these are true single coils. And I'm stacking gain. I'm pushing the amp and I have a fuzz pedal into it. Roger Hunt, what's up? Kelly, glad you like it. Sweet child of mine. Rabbiarazira. Okay, so what does a master knob do here? Pretty nice. Let's turn down the treble. It cleans up nicely. This is just a volume knob. Lots of volume. So this is nice. I could, so I'm going between now, like finger style. And so here's the volume knob turned all the way up. Turn it down. It's a pretty nice sound there. So I could go between doing maybe some rhythm stuff and maybe, use the bridge pickup here and just... It's a little bit mushy for that. Let's do that. Let's do it. So if I have this as my rhythm sound, I could just turn down the volume knob and I get... Turn it back up. Oops. There we have it. And then back down. So there you have it. This is a usable sound. I don't know how more I could... See, I was intending on doing some rhythm stuff like this, so let's see if it works for that. Let's see, I'm gonna turn down the bass a little bit on the fuzz pedal. See how that works. Hey, we got lots of people here. What's up, guys? I don't know what iris is. So I actually got a slide sent to me today. Let's try it out. This is pretty fun. It's a jet slide, glass slide actually. So this part is glass. Now, little disclaimer there, I got sent this for free, but there are no transactions happening, just a free slide for me. Let's see if it's cool. That's pretty cool. Tuning down to drop D. Just have to get used to moving back and forth between like that. I need to work on this. Ouch, and I think actually I need to change it. I think the glass part actually broke during delivery, but I got an extra one, so I'm gonna have to replace this one. It's a little bit scary now as it's a little bit shattered glass there, but they were kind enough to send me a spare, maybe because it's not the first time, who knows. Oh, okay, that's... Pocket Sam. So these are scalloped fretboards, and I've just scalloped exactly where the notes are being fretted. So I avoid removing too much wood, and I still get a very deep scallop here. So I've tuned down to drop D now. So. So the reason I've scalloped this fretboard is because if your frets aren't super high, you will touch the wood with your fingertip. And bending without touching the wood, for example, is not only a very nice feeling, but it gives you much better grip of the string, which is why you scallop a guitar. You can see how the edge of my fingertip is sticking out there. It fits perfectly here. If I if I had wood there, I would be touching it. It's not a big thing, but it does change the feel a lot. And as I said, you get a better kind of control. Now also for like playing legato stuff, so that kind of thing where you hammer on, it's the same thing, unless you're the best player in the world and you know that you're always going to hit the string at the center of your fingertip. You can see where the mark is. Now that's perfect, but when you're playing up to tempo, a lot of times you might miss a little bit. Maybe you're going to hit the string like that. And if that happens where there's wood, it's totally going to mess up the connection with your fingertip and the string, and you're going to get a bad note, basically. So in this case, it's actually indispensable. Now, of course, the better you are, the less this becomes a problem. Or if you have super jumbo frets, very high frets, then you get a similar effect. But even players like Yngve uses this, and he obviously has good control, so it's a cool thing. Yeah, we got my man Doombook here. Awesome. How you doing? Yeah, it's a Fender Blues Junior. So I did my scallops myself, and it's still a kind of work in progress. I was intending on actually doing them maybe... Well, I don't want to remove more wood, but in some cases, maybe I could... Some people think I should kind of even this out. That's the traditional way, but that would remove more wood. So maybe in some spots, I could improve. Let's see. Well, it's actually pretty good, but here, for example, I could maybe remove a little bit wood close to the fret wire. But I get so many interesting comments on this one, so I might not touch it. It's perfect the way it is. For every new troll comment I get, I hesitate to fix it. Yeah, I mean, it's not something for beginners for various reasons. A lot of people speak about, the fact that you can fret a note out of tune. But I mean, if you use that kind of pressure, you're gonna get the same problem on any guitar. Sure, it can get a bit more pronounced on this guitar. But if so, that's a good thing, because you realize you have to fix a serious issue with your technique. Hey there, Paul, what's up? Thank you. I send my regards back to you. Yeah, exactly, Doombook. Some guitars only do this on the higher frets, but I play my lines all over the guitar, so I have no reason not to have it down here as well, right? When I benefit a lot from the scallops, even down here. So I have no reason not to have my scalloped all the way. So the sound is a little bit pushed. Let's try it without the fat switch. Yeah, exactly. Jumbo frets give you similar effects. But I have to say, though, even with jumbo frets, a light scallop is amazing. I have both. No, Chris, I scalloped it myself. It's a work in progress. So what I'm going to show you maybe now is how I would mic this amp up for my shorts. So I use basically two microphones. One of them you can see here. It's a Pinnacle Fat Top, which is the continuation of the Fathead line, the Fathead microphone. And what this does, it gives you very warm, low mid-range. The problem is it's a fairly cheap microphone. It's not your Royer 121, $2,000 microphone. This is rather like a $200 microphone. So it doesn't deal with the top end very nice at all. It doesn't have much top end, which is why I combine this with a classic microphone, which is the SM57. And here you have it. Let's see if I can just pull it out here. Cables are a little bit stretched. I need to be smart, which doesn't always happen. So I'm just going to move this away. And I'll put this one here. Okay, so I usually aim my SM57 for, towards the center, but at an angle that alleviates the worst ice peaks and stuff like that. And I really made a mess out of this. Let's do this. Okay. So that should be good. Now, if you're wondering why I had this windscreen or puff filter on the other microphone, it's because this is a ribbon microphone, and ribbon microphones are sensitive to air being moved around. Now, I don't think I'm nearly in the volume levels where this would be a problem, but still just the feeling of potentially being able to screw up your microphone is not a good feeling. So that's why I have the windscreen. But you can basically just feel here, even when you're playing, is there a lot of air movement? And there's just a little bit, and behind this windscreen there's going to be 0. So I'm 100%, 110% safe here. It just feels good. And I can't imagine how stressed I would be if I had one of those $2,000 Royer microphones. That would probably scare the shit out of me. Now this one doesn't have to be as close at all. In fact, there's a heavy proximity effect, so where it gets very bass heavy. But I like that sometimes because you can, I mix this microphone low. This is going to be the main microphone, and it gives you the punchiness and the brightness and basically the sound we're so used to hearing, the SM57. Whereas this, I use it more like I fade it in and listen to how much low end and low warmth mid-range I want to. Now with this kind of sound, I will probably turn it up a bit louder than I would with a high gain sound because I'm really going for something warm here. Yeah, Doombook, this, believe it or not, we actually have fuzz engaged, but it's not as much. If you listen to, if you go back to the beginning of the live stream when we're done, you can see how I dialed in the silk tone fuzz. But it's very subtle. I didn't want to go all crazy. Maybe I should, I don't know. Exactly, Doombook, 70 to 30%, probably something like that, yeah. Yeah, Chris Jackson, the old ribbons, they used to be sensitive for 48 volts. You could actually ruin them, but this one is safe. This is a newer Pinnacle Fat Top, I think is what it's called. Fat Head. I just mix it up because basically owner died and they used to have another name. Was it Fat? I don't remember. So anyhow, these are my Phantom safe, so I'm good. But yes, that's true. Did you turn off the volume pot? Don't you? If you didn't, you can do that. What volume pot? Yeah. I can put crazy fuzz for sure, but I'm not sure I wanted to do that. We can try that. Yeah, exactly. I could definitely turn the fuzz all the way up and dial in cleanliness with a volume pot. Let's try it. Gets a little bit noisy, but okay, so gonna show you here. So now it's super loud, right? And it cleans up. But it's a little bit too much, I think. Let's this is better. Now I have the tone controls on the pedal engaged as well, so I can. It's pretty nice, huh? And then here, as you can tell, I'm cleaning it up there. You can see that. Pretty nice sound. But here you can clearly hear how it's totally fuzzed up. Thank you, Top Hat Cat. Yeah, exactly. Guitar and amp match color. That's important. So let's see here. You can maybe see a little bit better if I do this. How the sound responds to the toggle switch here. I'm going to try a little bit. This is just a neck pickup. Turn down the volume. And then turn it up again. And I'm using both in series. Both in parallel. Now this is interesting. This is the phase mode. So they're out of phase now. They're canceling each other. That removed all the low end. And now finally, this is just the bridge pickup. So a lot of times the bridge pickup is going to give you the best balance between the presence and the bass, basically. A balanced sound for rhythm. As opposed to the neck one. But I find the in-between positions are very useful when you want to get fatter lead tones and stuff like that. So a lot of the sounds you find in my shorts where I use, like, you know, I have some videos that are pretty popular where I do these like variations of the D chord and stuff like that. That's usually using this microphone setup and a lot of times this amp. So the question is if I can maybe play some backing track so you can hear it in action. I'm actually working on a backing track right now, but that's a very different style. So it's going to be interesting if I mix the styles here. We'll see. Let's try it. Okay, so here's a backing track I'm working on. It's a kind of work in progress. It's an F sharp. So you can hear how the fuzz sounds in action here. So it's tricky. Thank you, D'Souza. So this is a work in progress backing track.
Maybe a bit more reverb.
Ready? So it's a bit of a sound clash here with a dance techno thing and more fuzz. Let's try it. Popescu, what's up? So the pedals I'm using is just the silk tone fuzz. The rest is just the amp. Yeah, exactly. This backing track lends itself for louder or higher gain during the chorus section here. So we can definitely use a volume knob here. So this is the full fuzz. It's not insane. You can still hear quite a bit of fuzz there, but I can turn that down and do this. And then when the backing track gets louder, I can turn up the volume knob here. I get more distortion. I can turn it down again now. Back up again. India, what's up? So where are we from? Let's drop our country and city here. So Stockholm, Sweden. Or Sweden, Stockholm, to be consistent. Yep, this is a Telecaster. It's a Fujigen Tele. The model is called Iliad Standard. Yeah, the scallop frets really help up here. We can try on the low end. Oh, I messed up. Cool, guys. So that was a lot of fun, right? We started out dialing in the sound. We used the fuzz and then mic'd things up. And now we're doing techno trance. Who would have thought? By the way, maybe you want to see my ongoing project here. So let me zoom in here. All right. So here's what I've been the backing track I've been playing here, and it's actually all Logic's new like intelligent studio musicians. So I'm not playing on this specific backing track. So that's the piano kicking in, and here starts the verse, right? Now watch out for this section. Come on, mouse, get big. Oh, there. This section. This is where the stuff happens, where it gets really wild. But I need to have a transition here. It kicks in a little bit abruptly, but I'm gonna fix that. Listen now. And you can hear a lot of things happening. The bass is doing this. And the keyboard. And the keyboard is doing stuff. And we add the bass. We add the kick drum. And finally we add more of like an analog drum set. Okay, so that's just a little parenthesis, but that's what I'm working on, and hopefully I'll get this one up on the channel if you want to jam to this as well. It's all in F sharp minor, so it's kind of easy to just play your pentatonic scale. Awesome, guys. So thanks for tuning in with me. It's been a really fun session. I hope to see you soon again here. And until then, you know I have a million shorts uploaded to my channel where I show you how to play all this stuff if you guys want to do that as well. So thanks a lot for tuning in, and see you soon again. You've been fantastic. I've been Christopher Dahl. Cheers.